Success Spotlight on writing and language support. My name is Deidre Lam, and I'm the creator of the Academic Success Spotlight series. I will be your facilitator today. Our panelist is Chris Briley, Senior English Language Support Specialist, and he will showcase all the different program offerings for writing and language support available to students. As well, we have Charlene Ahmed, my math support assistant, who will be the moderator for this webinar. Let me go over a few housekeeping items before we start. If you have questions about the slide we presented, you can ask questions through the Q&A section on Zoom. Please monitor the questions from your peers, as they might also be the ones you want to ask. Everyone has an upvote button. Adding an upvote to a question let us know how important that question is to everyone at the webinar. If possible, please save your questions for the Q&A segment at the end of the webinar. Charlene will be monitoring all questions. As such, I will ask that all students be respectful when posing your questions. Any inappropriate comments might result in us reporting them to Non-Academic Integrity Office, and that is definitely not the way to start the school year. We will record this session. As soon as the recording comes available after the webinar, we will post this on the Math Ready video bank. Charlene has put in the chat box the link to the Vimeo playlist, and you just need to search for video number 16. You can also enable live captioning at the bottom of the screen. So let me give you a few, an overview of what to expect in this webinar. We will start with land acknowledgement, followed by an intro activity. Then Chris will go into doing the presentation on writing and language support. There will be a Q&A session at the end, followed by some information on how to get in touch with us. And then I'll share a survey through the Zoom chat, and then we will end the webinar then. So I'm actually the Senior Math Support Specialist, as I said, and here's Chris. And if you're interested to see Charlene, that's a picture of her because she's on the back end. You probably don't get to see her face. Let's start off with the land acknowledgement. Toronto is in the dish with one spoon territory. The dish with one spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and the Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. As settlers here in Canada, some by choice and others not, it is important that we recognize and remember that this land, its resources, and its history were stolen from its Indigenous peoples. It is important for us to acknowledge that our opportunity to come here today and to share space with one another is as a result of a long legacy of colonialism. Colonialism which continues to impact the lives of many Indigenous peoples and communities across Canada today. Colonialism that we as settlers continue to benefit from. Land acknowledgements can be uncomfortable and unsettling, as they encourage us to reflect and be critical of our Canadian history. But land acknowledgements alone are merely an invitation to acknowledge ourselves in relation to this history, an invitation to acknowledge how we perpetuate this history, and an invitation to acknowledge how we can contribute to a changing history. And so with this land acknowledgement, I encourage and remind myself and everyone here today to reflect and honor the truth and past of the land on which we sit, lean into the discomforts that arise when we do, and work actively with this discomfort to seek new learnings and unlearnings about the land we collectively call home. So let me go back to Mentimeters. I can see that there are some people who have just joined the webinar, and welcome you all. If you have your phone, or if you have perhaps opened a new browser on your computer, if you can join menti.com and enter the code 84977612, and let us know which faculty you belong to. I can see that we have 9 people who have answered that question, but we have 14 attendees. Okay, so I'm just going to give everyone a minute to sign into this platform. We will also be using this platform for the Q&A segment at the end, so everyone can see the questions, and then we'll answer them live. I love it. We have a good spread of students from different faculty. That's great. Okay, now I'm going to advance to the next question, and that is, can you just type in and let us know what program you're in? Business management, accounting and finance, psychology, computer science, collaborative nursing. I can tell you definitely, writing and language support is very important in all your areas. So that's great. Early childhood studies, that's definitely have a lot of writing. Psychology definitely have a lot of writing. That is wonderful. Okay. So Chris, you're on.
Over to me. Thank you so much, Deidre. And hello, everybody. Good morning. So my name's Chris, and I oversee writing and language support programming at TMU. So we are a centralized support, academic support area. And as the name implies, we support you with your written assignments. And the language piece is English language. So for multilingual students who use English as an additional language, we provide support programs for them. So the writing is for everybody. And when I say EAL, that you'll see that in a couple of the slides there, EAL refers to English as an additional language. Our programs are delivered in many ways. So we have bookable one-on-one appointments, which certainly are the most popular. And we have drop-in sessions and group sessions as well. So there's a lot of variety. I'll go into more detail as the slides come up. The next slide. All right, let's start off maybe with the, for students who use English as an additional language, going into first year. Now, particularly our programs concentrate on oral proficiency or fluency in spoken English. Many students find that they're strong with the passive skills of listening and reading, but they just don't get as much practice as they would like in spoken English. So really our programs are providing that motivation and that all-important practice. I know when I was studying other languages and when I've been overseas, working overseas, I missed this practice piece. Theoretically, I knew the language, but I really didn't find I had opportunities to speak the language on a regular daily basis. And that's something that I feel that our programs provide that practice in a safe, non-judgmental environment where you get feedback and you build that confidence. With confidence, that's where fluency comes. So if you feel confident about your abilities, that's when you can really, really start to realize your true potential as students going into first year and going into this undergraduate experience. I put that linguistic dexterity there, is that when you think about, if you go to the gym, for example, for maybe 2 or 3 times a week, you do sports, the first couple of weeks will be tough. I'm sure you'll have some aches and pains, but it will pay off. So after a couple of weeks, you will find that you are more flexible, you are sleeping better, you're eating better, you're studying better. All of this stuff kind of is integrated and it really plays off. So in terms of linguistic dexterity, I feel participating in our programs, if English is an additional language, the beginning is always tough. Those first steps are always challenging, but then you start to see the results. You see how it's paying off, that you're integrating more on campus, you're asking more questions in class, and in our programs, maybe making some new contacts, new friends from other departments, other faculties, other programs. So truly, our programs really are about you building that confidence in your English language abilities. We do provide feedback, constructive feedback. And so that really is with the aim of getting you to be starting to self-identify some of the errors you're making in your writing and in your spoken English, so that you will get to the point where you are correcting yourself, self-correction. Ultimately, we want you to start to find your written voice and find your spoken voice in our programs. Next slide, Deidre. So in terms of spoken English, so our programs, one-on-one appointments, you can book book an appointment with our student staff. I have a team of 14 undergraduate students who their job is to meet with students one-on-one for help with writing and provide practice for spoken English. You can book appointments and specify when you book appointments for in-person on the 4th floor of the Student Learning Center. We have a classroom dedicated to this, or online, or by phone. And these one-on-one appointments are 50 minutes in length. You can have an open conversation. You can talk about, ask questions, have an open conversation, spontaneous conversation, maybe situational English, for example. What do I say in this situation? What does this mean? It could be cultural questions, or you can engage in some structured activities that build vocabulary, work on pronunciation, for example, and ultimately build that confidence in your spoken English. As well, you can practice an oral presentation during these appointments and get some feedback. And trust me, even that one appointment to go through a presentation can make all the difference in terms of you feeling confident going into the oral presentation in class. So you can book up to 3 appointments per week. Schedule is probably going to be posted in early September, but judging from past semesters, we're open 6 days a week. So Monday to Saturday, we have early appointments starting at 9 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. at night. So a lot of opportunities for you to participate in these programs. Next slide, please. So other programs that help with spoken English. We have weekly English conversation groups that are facilitated by the student staff. Great opportunities for you to practice speaking in a group setting. The curriculum is really very fluid, but it's a lot of very much real life tasks and real situational English that you will encounter in an academic setting. But great opportunities, again, to meet other people, connect with other people, and possibly make some new friends at the university as well. This is open to all students. We find that the conversation groups actually have some PhDs and some international students, some visiting researchers. Everybody is there, though, to work on their spoken English in a group setting. The next one there, I facilitate the English communication support class. That's a little bit more of a structured class. It's a non-credit class, but it's about building confidence and fluency in an academic setting. So it's about the appropriacy of language, using language appropriately and accurately in a university environment. And finally, the last one there is Conversational Connections, unique program. I can match you up with a volunteer. The volunteers are over the age of 60. Match you up with a volunteer. You get together once a week for about an hour, either in person or online, and have conversation. Truly a very enriching program. The volunteers and students both gain from this interaction, intergenerational dialogues, but a very, very rich program in terms of meeting someone, a trusted ally on campus, and it really builds your oral spoken English skills. Next one, David. Now let's move over to the writing. So again, writing is centralized. Again, the one-on-one appointments are in person, online, or by telephone. So online, you're just sharing your screen really with one of our writing tutors. By phone, you would send your written assignment to an email that's provided, and we talk about it over the phone. So two types of writing appointments that we have. Academic writing can be 25 minutes or 50 minutes. We have a team of 10 graduate students who facilitate the academic writing appointments and really come in at any stage of the writing process. And I do encourage you to come in as early as possible before that first assignment is due. By sort of midterm, Thanksgiving week, reading week, that's when assignments start to become due, around that time, sort of middle of October. But come in early, come in September when you've actually been assigned the writing assignment. Even if you need clarification, if you need to unpack the assignment, asking questions maybe about citation systems, check your thesis statement, go through an outline, even brainstorm the assignment with someone. We can't really guide you in terms of content, but we can certainly have a good conversation with you about the assignment at hand. If, for example, writing an annotated bibliography or a literature review is something new for you, it's a new type of writing task for you, perfect. Book a academic writing appointment and talk about it with one of the graduate students. Now, the other type of writing appointment that we have are called grammar-supported self-editing appointments. Those are 50 minutes in length. Those are with the undergraduate student staff, and the staff serve as a second reader. So you read your work out loud, they stop you and ask you questions along the way. It's great to have a second set of eyes on your work. So this is at the sort of revising stage later on when you're going to be handing your work in. Before you hand your work in, go through it with one of our student staff, and they will help you clean up your written assignment. So maybe they're looking for things like repetition, maybe redundancy, word choice, punctuation, flow, confusing parts. Maybe you're looking to cut down your work, your over word count, and you're looking for how can I cut this down a little bit? That kind of thing happens. That's what you come in for grammar-supported self-editing. If you want to book with a specific person, the academic writing staff have their biographies next to their name in our booking system, which I'll show you later. So you can actually book ahead with them. You can book up to 2 weeks in advance. For those of you who are doing tests like IELTS, which is the International English Language Testing System, if that's something you'll have to do in the next little while, bring in some sample written answers, mock questions for those tests, and we're happy to go through it with you as well. Next one, Deidre. So after reading week, which is around middle of October, we provide drop-in writing. These are 20-minute, very quick questions that you might have about your written work. Again, maybe checking a thesis statement, maybe having a few questions about maybe referencing or citations, things like that. Short, quick questions. Schedule, I hope, will be around 12 to 2. Again, it all depends on availability of staff. But in past semesters, we've had around Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the middle of the week, 12 to 2. Some of those shifts are online. Some of them are in person on the 4th floor. It'll be indicated on our website how the drop-in appointments are being administered. Next one, Deidre.
Oops, all right.
And the writing workshops. Something that seems to be somewhat stressful in the first semester, I think, are the word plagiarism, which I think really, truly, we need to demystify that whole process of what really constitutes plagiarism in an academic setting. And you can see our workshops really address some of these concerns. So referencing and citation styles, these are really a set of rules of the sources that you have for your written work, how you document and cite your sources. There's just different rules. There's 2 or 3 very, very common systems that are in place on campus. You will certainly know in the first few weeks in your program what system they're using. And this is for the professors so that all the papers that come in are written in a similar way. The documentation of your documentation of your sources are structured in a way that is uniform across all the students in that program. So referencing citation, let's see, other one, critical thinking, critical writing, ethical scholarship, these type of things. These writing workshops are generally on Tuesday evenings at 6 o'clock. Most of them are online. We have a few offered in person as well on other days as well. Those are all posted now, and I'll show you where they are so you can sign up for them now if you wish. Next one, Deidre. Oh, no, this me. Sorry, excuse me about that.
So let me stop sharing and we're going to turn to the live demonstration. So Chris will actually walk you through the Writing and Language Support website. So let me stop sharing and Chris.
Okay, thank you. So here's the Writing and Language Support's web page. We are under Learning Support is the larger piece there, and you can see Learning Support on the top right. And so these are all the areas of learning support. Writing and Language Support page here. Scrolling down, you can see the programs that I was talking to you about here with the one-on-one appointments and the drop-in writing appointments that will come after reading week. Something I neglected to mention under the group sessions, we do have writing groups as well that we offer in the fall and winter semesters. Writing groups, for example, 25 writing strategies there. That's something that over 5 weeks, every week, we will discuss 5 writing strategies. One of the writing consultants, one of the grad students will facilitate these sessions, but it's a 2-hour session. And the first part is talking about writing strategies. The second part of that session is really putting aside some time to write and have access to the writing consultant as well as you're writing. So if you're someone that feels that you procrastinate a little bit getting started with your writing, these writing groups are a wonderful opportunity for you to dedicate a little bit of time in your calendar each week to put aside to do some active writing with access to a writing consultant as well. So that's all the information there. I'll just click up here. This is booking appointments. So we have a centralized booking system for our programs. So if I click on that, I will sign in. You'll sign in with your student ID. And there we go. So this will come up. These are all the areas of learning support here. I'll click under Writing and Language Support. So for example, with the workshops, you can see here, they're all the names are here. And as you click on these different ones, you'll see when they're offered. You click on the time and you can register for those workshops now. You can always unregister, but this will be a placeholder for you. And whenever you register for something, it will show up in your TMU Google Calendar as well. Go back to other booking appointments here. So let's see, maybe let's look at the, I don't know, grammar supported self-editing appointments. So this just means that there are 3 staff working. We don't have the names of this type of appointment, the names of the student staff, because there are 14 of them. It would be a very long scrolling list, but these are all the next available appointments that you can book with. If you have a specific day, you can go to show appointments from, and a certain day you can click on, and you can see the appointments for example, August 9th. These are the appointments that are available on that day. Remember, you can book up to 3 appointments a week. You can always cancel them up to 2 hours before, and all of your appointments will show up here in my appointment list at the top there, and that's where you can cancel any upcoming appointments or check to see what upcoming appointments you have. But I stress that all these appointments do show up in your TMU Google Calendar as well. And it's an online appointment. The link, the Google Meet link, will also show up in your TMU Google Calendar for the upcoming appointment. Okay. So that's the booking system. I'll just move over to
Chris.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Sorry. Do you think you can maybe click into one of the appointment time and perhaps tell students if there's anything special that they need to
Okay. Thank
fill
you,
out
Deidre.
this form? Yeah.
What would I do without you, Deidre? So here I'm booking a grammar supported self-editing appointment here, and the choices here are in-person, telephone, or online. So you have to choose how you would like the appointment to be administered. It'll tell you here just to check all of this. You do have to, these required fields here are tell us the course that you need help with for that written assignment, and just prompt us a little bit about what you would like to work on here. So if there's certain concerns you have, for example, APA citation, that's what you would put in there. All right, so maybe flow, organization, something like that. If there's a specific staff member that you want to work with as well, that's a great place to put that in the comment box as well. I would like to work with the student's name. The students all have the same schedule every week for the whole semester. So if they're Wednesday morning, they'll always be Wednesday morning. So book an appointment with them. They will be there for that appointment, and they'll see that you have indicated them in the comment box as well.
Chris, if you don't mind, I jumped in. Tell us more about what you want to work on. If there is, for example, a sample of your writing that you want, the staff member to go over with you, just to save time, what you can do is copy that, put it in a Google Doc, making sure that you set the sharing setting to anyone can view, and then you can actually attach the Google Doc link here so that the facilitator can actually access it and perhaps have a look at it prior to your appointment. And that has been very helpful, because then I think that will be a really good use of like 15 minutes that you have, with the facilitator.
No, good advice, Deidre. Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, we can't edit your work for you. So in a Google Doc, we will be viewing your document, but we will not be collaborating and editing in that sense. You will be making all the corrections yourself within the doc, but we see what you see on an online appointment. So we can see that you're making those corrections and things that we talk about. I'm looking at Deidre because I think I'm convinced that Deidre has more questions. No, you're good? All right, so there's the portal in terms of all the writing and language support. That's how you access that. I'm just going to switch over to another screen here. This is we were on writing and language support here as one of the tabs, one of the pages for learning support. But actually on the main learning support page, you'll see on the right-hand side here all of our quick links. And one of the links there is resources. And when we open up resources, you can see that we've loaded up a lot of online content here. So again, with things like citations, you can see we have a lot of Google Forms, Google Docs here that you can access in terms of referencing certain handouts that we have about the different citation styles that are commonly used on campus. In terms of grammar and usage for particularly for students who use English additional language, some useful handouts here as well. And types of writing, some handouts here on reflection papers, literature reviews, things like that. And I'm just going to switch over again, please forgive me. And one other page that could be useful for you is the SLS YouTube page. And I'm just going to shut down the there you go. Sorry, that is the noise is off. Perfect. Sorry, it's usually quite a high volume on that. If you go further down here, you can see some of our videos that we've loaded up here in terms of writing strategies here as well. So great resources available to you on this page as well. All good?
All good. Chris, if you can stop the share screen, then I'll go back to my share screen. Here we go. Okay, so as a matter of fact, before we go into the Q&A session, we're going to, Xiaolin is going to actually send everyone the survey link. I just want to share with you so that you know what it looks like. So the survey link is it's just a feedback for us to let us know, what you find helpful in the session, and if there's anything that you would like us to include for future webinar, please let us know. We certainly value your input. And then this is totally anonymous. So the moment you hit the submit button, there's going to be like a thank you message. And in the thank you message, you see a link to another Google form. And that is if you are interested to have your name put in a event draw. So there are, I think, 120 something prizes of a $21 one-card top-up. And there are 5 $100 one-card top-up. Now, if you're not sure what is one card is actually your student ID card. You'll be getting that when you're on campus during orientation week, and that card is very useful. You use that card for checking out, materials from the library. You can borrow computers from the library. But at the same time, you can top up the money. You can put money into your one card so that you can use that for TMU eateries. That is a place where students can buy food. You can use that in the bookstore, as well as doing all the printing and on campus. So the one card is very useful. So we decided the prizes will be giving you the money in your one card, and you can decide how you would like to use it. So I'm going to go back to the Mentimeter, and I'm going to go to now the Q&A session. If there are any questions you might have for Chris, or if you want a student perspective, you can also pose a question for Shaolin. She'll be happy to answer it for you. You can type your question here, and so everyone can see it, and then we'll answer them live. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. And you have unlimited number of questions you can put on there, so ask away. Okay, so the first question is, are there any writing supports offered at the library, as well as are all writing workshops or supports available in the SLC only? Good question. Chris?
I don't believe there's workshops per se, but certainly librarians in terms of navigating the database and research help. I would say they would be a great resource as well, and they have accessible through the library's website. You can chat with a librarian as well on that. They do have a help desk, and they do have hours where you can meet with a librarian and again navigate through the database, and they can give you advice on search words and strategies of how to be a little bit more efficient when you're searching for some sources of information there. But particularly, the Writing Center was in the library years ago, and it migrated over to learning support. So I think they were getting rid of some of the duplication on campus. So we are generally the centralized academic supports on campus. Some campuses, some departments, some faculties like community services may have certain specialized say workshops, but maybe some student staff that may be there to help with some specific writing assignments and some specific writing tasks. But that would be connected with either a program or an individual professor, and you'll know about that when you start your courses. Nothing wrong with doing both, right? TRSM definitely has resources available for students within the business school, but again, you can tap into both, right?
Well, actually, I think for the writing piece now, TRSM is also directing all the students to our centralized. Okay. Yeah. So if you haven't been to the Student Learning Center, I would absolutely recommend you doing that. It's an award-winning building. The fourth floor is where all the student learning support is located. And it is a beautiful, beautiful environment with lots of glass, it's a glass building, lots of light coming, natural light coming in. It's a wonderful space to learn. So come and check us out. The library is very good too, but the library is a much older building, and it doesn't have a lot of windows. So definitely SLC is a better place to be.
Deidre. Yeah, all gloves
Am
are
I
off to
doing
the
it?
library, I guess.
am I
We're
doing-
joined together, by the way. So we are in partnership with the library. The both buildings join, and there's a bridge that goes across the library.
Yes.
You can book independent study rooms here as well. So of some of the floors, you can go and book group study space or individual study space as well.
Yeah. Okay, we have another question. When do extracurriculars start in the year? What are the responsibilities, expectations that go along? Okay, the extracurricular is so I guess extracurricular means perhaps more the recreational side of things. That I would suggest you come and come to attend the Academic Success Spotlight on Recreation and Health and Wellbeing. That is that session will go through all the recreational option for students. So make sure you come and join us for that session. There's one boost camp for math by engineering department, but I'm in the science department. Can I still join? One of my friends told that even if I register for it, I won't be able to join the same. That is correct. So engineering, as a matter of fact, Faculty of Science, we used to have a live lecture series. Again, it's a two-week lecture series for math students. However, they decided not to run this year because we have actually created very good like online courses for students to go through. It has like mini videos, very short videos to teach you the concepts, and then there are comprehensive, lots of practices, as well as module tests. So they decided to direct the students to using our online resources rather than actually having a live lecture series. So, but you are correct. If you're on the Faculty of Science, you will not be able to join the Faculty of Engineering because they actually have a course shell, and you have to be an engineering student to be loaded into that particular course shell. So any other faculty, students from other faculty will not be able to join that class. Okay, another question. For writing strategies, writing group, are we allowed to start writing our assignment during that time, or is it more of a class?
No, it's the first maybe 20 minutes or so. You will there will be a writing consultant there, talking about different writing strategies. Each session, it's a 5-week session. The 25 writing strategies, 5 strategies each week, but it is intended to be a dedicated, quiet time to be writing with your peers, with access to a writing consultant. So yes, you can be starting to write your assignment during that time. Absolutely.
Great. I have a question. So where can we find online courses for the Faculty of Science, which was just mentioned? So I believe you're talking about math. And so if you, Shaolin, could you link the Math Ready inquiry form in the chat?
Sure.
Yeah. So Shaolin is going to link the Math Ready inquiry link. So if you're interested to know more about math courses, online math courses available for Faculty of Science, if you don't mind filling that form out, and then we will send you all the details via email. And also the student who posed that question about online courses, perhaps in this Q&A chat box, can you tell me if you have signed up for the Math Ready in Summer Jumpstart? Yes, it's the My Open Math program. That's correct. So if you can go into the My Open Math, that's where you will you'll be able to find all the courses. But if you have any question, though, fill out that and Math Ready inquiry form. We will get in touch with you and we can lead you through. Shaolin can lead you through. We can book a one-on-one appointment with you, either through Zoom or Google Meet, or we can communicate with you via email. All right, I have a few other questions. And number one, what are bird course? Do they require a final exam? Perhaps I can I can start first. I think bird courses are what students refer to as courses that are you know, very in their mind, based on their own strength, that are very easy for them, right? So for example, no, you wouldn't say that.
No, I didn't need to. That was my, see, I emote on camera. I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. One of the bird courses when I was an undergrad was children's literature, for example. So reading children's books, but it's read on two different levels, right? One for children and one as an adult. And it was very challenging, to be honest. A lot of people took it thinking, oh, it's so easy. I'm just reading, children's books. No problem. It actually was very, very tough. And it wasn't, didn't turn out to be a bird course after all. I think bird courses, just do your homework. Bird courses, people think, are not going to have a lot of work involved in them. And some may not have a final exam, but they'll have essays on assignments or in-class stuff that you do. So it seems like a lighter workload. But, this is changing all the time. And so I would do your due diligence before you think a course is a bird course, to be honest. It might be a little bit of a trick there. Not a bird for everybody, that's for sure.
To be honest, I would say there are really no bird courses at university because every single course, even despite the fact that it doesn't have a final exam, trust me, there will be other projects, writing, a lot of writing involved that will definitely ultimately take up a lot of time. Yeah, but if you think of them as, courses that are really of interest to you, it's not a course that's going to be a drag, then perhaps you can consider those as bird courses. Yeah, but work, definitely there will be work because you're at university.
Well, if you enjoy what you do, it doesn't seem like hard work in a way.
Right.
You do it, it's not an arduous task, right?
Yeah. Okay, another question is, when are we allowed to potentially join the writing team? Can we do it as a part-time job throughout the year, or are first-year students allowed to apply?
So the writing support team, yeah, the writing support team, half of them are graduate students, half of them are undergraduate students. By the time you're getting into first year, the jobs get posted early in the new year. So in the winter semester, what they call career boost jobs are posted through the careers website. There's a lot of advertising and promotion as well for the jobs that are available, especially within student life and learning support, which is our bigger group. So yes, you can join. There may be some jobs that have yet to be filled. But yes, so I would say yes. First years they don't have quite the advantage because the majority of jobs are taken at this point going into September. But the application for second year and for summer 2024 will be out in sort of late January.
One thing I would suggest, if you are interested in being one of the writing facilitator, perhaps, get in touch with Chris, learn early about, what the job entails. And then, think of using this year as a way to hone your skills, to practice before you come to the, to the application and interview process. As Chris says, the application for hiring for next academic year is going to start in the new year, and the application is going to start in January, and then we actually do all the interviews in February and March, and basically students will know whether they get a position with us in early April. So So definitely use this year to to learn more about the job, and as I said, hone your skills, and to also spend some time really working on your resume, your interview skills. I think those are very important. It will definitely help your chances of getting a job.
And I think it does help in terms of time management as well, understanding all the different demands in the academic year, juggling assignments, maybe part-time jobs, other things that are going on, family commitments, all of this too. But I would say for the writing, the team of student staff for writing, I would say it does help if you're an upper level student in that you have been exposed to a lot of different writing tasks in the institution. And so it does help in terms of the application, of having a stronger application, knowing that you have been exposed to writing over at least your first year at the university.
Okay, so another question is, what do we do if our writing group overlaps with our classes for the day? Is there an alternate time to attend the writing group for support from the writing consultant?
Again, we haven't put in the days and times for the writing groups yet. We would hope to have at least 2 different groups going at different days and times. So hopefully one of those would be compatible with your availability as well. So if some weeks you can't attend, but other weeks you can, that's fine as well. It's not a commitment that you have to stay for. It's not like a course. If you're benefiting, absolutely attend this. Some weeks you can, some weeks you can't. It goes for all of our programs. They're all non-credit. So the conversation groups as well, and the other stuff that we do at other group sessions. So I would hope that we're offering at different days and times, online and in person as alternates. So whatever you would like, hopefully we can accommodate that in the fall.
Okay, and then we have one other question, and that is, how do we know if lower liberal studies courses are available during a certain semester? Since I would like to take the ASL course, but I'm not sure when it's not available. You know what? I think for a question like this, it's probably best to connect with My Service Hub. I think they will be probably a better, will be a better place to help answer your question. Another place that will help you answer their question will be through your faculty advisor, right? Your faculty advisor will be able to help you with that. Just to also let you know, we have an academic accommodation, we have a academic success spotlight series on D2L, as well as My Service Hub. So D2L is the learning management system where all the courses will be on that system, and My Service Hub will be, if you need to sign up for courses, make changes or delete courses, for example. How do you do that? So we actually have one dedicated for that, and it's coming up on August 10th. So I would strongly recommend that you come and join us for that session. Okay, it looks like that's the only questions we have. We have answered all of them. So before you go, let me also show you how to get in touch with us. Okay. So just so you know, the Writing Language Support is located on the 4th floor of the Student Learning Center, which is at the corner of Yonge and Gold Street. So do come and visit us. As I said, it's an award-winning building. There are many levels where there are tons of study space for students. There are also rooms that students can book a room to work in a group. There are 8 levels. Am I correct? Chris?
Yes, you are
8.
correct.
Yes. So how I did it when I first joined the building is take the elevator all the way to the 8th floor, check it out, and then you just walk down one floor and check out all the space. It's really an amazing place. It's a fun place. On the 4th floor, though, it's where all the learning support, including academic accommodation support, is located. So whether you want writing and language support, whether you want math support, whether you want study skills and transition support, and also if you happen to be a register as an AES student, all our support is on the 4th floor. The 2 rooms dedicated for English and language writing support is SLC 451. That's where all the one-on-one appointments for grammar and supported self-editing and English language speaking and listening are hosted. And in room SLC 452, that's where all the one-on-one appointments for academic writing. If you have any questions, you can always email sls@torontomu.ca. And we have also included Chris' emails, so especially for those of you who are interested in being a writing facilitator, you can email Chris and talk to him. He's an amazing guy, as you see on this webinar, and he will give you all the insights into what the job entails. So again, thank you so much for attending, and Shaolin is going to attach the survey link. Make sure you grab the link, fill it out, and don't forget to fill out the second Google form embedded in this one, where you enter your name for the events draw. And as I said, the 2 Google forms, they are completely separate. That's why your feedback form for us, that one will be totally anonymous. So everyone, have a fabulous day, and I hope you're going to enjoy your first year, and especially September. Well, actually, I would say orientation week. There are lots of actions on campus. I can tell you this is probably one of the best school for orientation because they have so many activities, bouncy castles, tons of stuff to play with. And I always, tell all my colleagues, I went to university and I don't, from my undergrad or graduate school, we have nothing like that on campus. Isn't that, Chris?
True. A lot of fun.
Maybe Western is different. I don't know.
First few weeks are a lot of fun. There's a lot of great energy on campus.
Yeah. But when you were at Western, were there anything like that?
No.
No. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, even Stanford doesn't have anything like that either. So, so definitely come and join us for orientation. It's absolutely lovely. Okay. Have a fabulous day, everyone. As I said, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.